I want you to reflect for a second. As a jiujitero, what is your fuel? There's no right or wrong, there's just different points along the path. This discussion was sparked in me the other day when somebody asked me, why are you angry, or why do you enjoy violence, or something along those lines, right? And I had to kind of clarify and also reflect for a second about how my journey has changed, what fuels me, what energy that I carry in my everyday life and on the mats. And I also thought about my students and how I see them at different ages expressing energy and what drives them. And the way that I see it, again, there's no right or wrong. There's just a starting point and there's a progression. And so, what I do see earlier on in terms of especially age, but it could also be with time on the mat, is there's a certain need to express anger. When this person asked me about why I might be angry or violent, one of the first things that came to mind was the feeling of anger at societal structures and oppression, some ways that the world operates and the values that are common in the world which frustrate me. But that's not the primary reason for my training and my teaching at this time. So I think what happens earlier on in the journey of jiu-jitsu is that people have this sense of wanting to de-stress or to express a certain anger or edge that they carry, a certain kind of frustration with the way that things are, or annoyance with the mechanics of their life. And this is totally reasonable. And rather than taking it out in a destructive way and self-destructive vices or being abusive even towards other people, I think it's a great way to start to learn to channel that energy into aggression on the mat and using that to battle against each other in order to hone those energies and to constructively use this energy to build skills, to learn how to defend oneself against aggressive energies, whether that's physical or emotional, mental, or verbal aggression. Now, as things continue to move on, as one perhaps begins to soften into life, you know, considering an example of, let's say, an angry young man, a rebellious teenager kind of energy. And then we'll take a look at this young man as he transitions toward having a partner, a family, a couple of kids, and then beginning to soften and feel more appreciation and more of a sense of coming into the protector energy. Now things actually shift, and this is where there's a shift towards noticing how we can serve other people. And now there's a different type of fuel that comes in, less of destruction and more about service and protection and wanting to preserve the integrity of oneself and people we care about, and even our opponent as we move about life. And so this is the type of progression that can happen as a young man matures, or even a young woman as well. It's no different. Moving from that sense of like, what's wrong with this world, as opposed to like, I actually love my world and I will do whatever I need to protect it because other people depend on me and because I believe that I'm empowered in order to hold the space around me. And this is the core difference when I look at myself as well and what drives me. I'm able to even tap into a greater power now because even though I will use my muscles and I will, put pressure on people and I will be aggressive outwardly, what's fueling me inside is very different than what was the energy behind it when I stepped onto the mats as a young man in my early 20s. It was at that time that I was feeling put upon by the world. I was feeling repressed, oppressed, even depressed at times. And now all of the energy that I bring in comes from a state of, again, those things I mentioned, wanting to be truly able to hold the space around me, to protect myself in self love, to even use my aggressive efforts to build up the defenses of those around me and their skills. And so I just invite you to reflect where you're at along this journey, how you see martial arts fitting into your life, and how you relate to the world, and especially your life. Are you fighting against something, or are you fighting for yourself and the people that you love? Thanks for tuning in.